Hi there, this is Tate with the Rangers of Wrestling bringing you the Wrestling Time Post Show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing Ric Flair's last match. Alright, so this pay-per-view had a stacked undercard, and that was one of the reasons why I was really excited to watch this. It had quite a few Impact matches, and y'all know I love Impact Wrestling. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to watch this pay-per-view. Alright, so the pre-show kicked off with Uemura versus Ren Narita. So this was originally supposed to be Clark Connors versus Ren Narita, but unfortunately Clark Connors was injured. New Japan releasing a statement saying, "Thank you for supporting New Japan Pro Wrestling. Clark Connors has sustained a herniated disc in his back and will not be able to wrestle his scheduled matches in Shelley, North Carolina on July 24th and Nashville, Tennessee on July 30th. We apologize to the fans who were looking forward to seeing Clark wrestle and appreciate your understanding." I was actually looking forward to this match because Clark Connors impressed me in the at Forbidden Door. He taking a place of Tomohiro Ishii, so I was kind of bummed. So I don't really watch New Japan, so I'm not familiar with Ren Narita and Uemura. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. I'm pretty sure I'm mispronouncing that. But I thought the match was pretty decent. I feel like it was a little short. I think that they should have gone on a little longer. But Ren Narita was victorious after he caught Uemura into the belly-to-belly suplex. So we had a Jay Lethal promo. This was actually supposed to be a Ric Flair promo, but Jay Lethal, he came out to Ric Flair's music, and he did the whole Ric Flair impression, the voice. He took off the jacket. He came out with Karen Jarrett also. He cuts a promo basically saying that he and Double J are going to beat Ric Flair within an inch of his life and that no one's going to remember this egomaniac in 20 years. Karen Jarrett starts talking about Missy Hyatt, baby dolls, and Ric Flair's ex-wives. And the crowd starts chanting, "Who are you? Who are you?" And she basically says that Double J and Lethal are going to grant Ric Flair's wish of dying in the ring. So I don't know who Frank the Clown is, but he had a segment and where he was talking about how this was Ric Flair was just doing this as the last cash grab before he dies. And Jacob Fatu came out, and Frank the Clown got out of the ring. As he was walking away, Mick Foley came out, and he was like begging Mick Foley not to do anything to him, but Mick Foley threw him back into the ring, and he got super kicked by Fatu, and then got hit with a hip attack. So then Nick Aldis, Dixie Carter, Jay Bill, Trish Stratus, Kurt Angle, Cody Rhodes, and Sting all made video packages for Ric Flair, praising him. And it's nice to hear good things about Ric Flair. Normally, like lately, we've heard bad things, like he got canceled after the Dark Side of the Ring episode. So it was nice to hear good things about him. You know, this was his night, so props for everybody saying nice things about him. Then we got the Bunkhouse Battle Royal. So I've never seen this match before in my life. But some of the participants were Adam Priest, Big Domino, Brian Myers. Oh, actually, Brian Myers was supposed to be in this match, but he didn't come out. Bully Ray, Crimson, Crowbar, Gringo Loco, James Storm, Cal Hero, Commander, Ricky Shane Page, Warlow, and Weird Sin Bodie, and Wolf D. So I don't know how long Bully Ray has been using Welcome to the Jungle, but I thought that was a really cool choice. I like Welcome to the Jungle by Guns N' Roses. Nick Gage comes out he's a participant in this, and he calls out his GCW gang. So Joey Janela's there, and the final four in this match ended up being Joey Janela, Mains Warner, Bully Ray, and James Storm. Bully Ray eliminates Janela, Warner eliminates Storm, and then Bully Ray power bombs Warner through a table. But Warner ends up winning this, and like at the end, they celebrate. Bully Ray lifts his hand and pours beer into his mouth, which I thought was pretty cool. Then we get more video packages. It's Sting, Cody Rhodes again, and Jim Ross. My one issue with this is that they kept replaying the same video packages throughout the night. I don't know if they couldn't find any more people, and they just replayed the same ones, but they usually replayed the Sting one and Cody Rhodes a lot too. So then Mick Foley, who's in the second row, he was like, "I'm no Al Snow," because he didn't get front row. He says his son was next to him, and his son said that this was a better show than SummerSlam. Now, I'm not going to front. Before yesterday, I was not excited about SummerSlam. I was more excited about this because the undercard was stacked. And like I said, I'm a huge Impact fan. If you guys have been watching my reviews or following me for as long as you have, you know I love Impact. And there was Impact matches on this card, so I was super excited. But I thought SummerSlam was actually pretty entertaining. Then we get a Nick Aldis video package, and he's basically saying his favorite Ric Flair match is Ric Flair versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. He talks about the impact that Ric Flair had on pop culture and wrestling and on the livelihood of so many. He basically ends this by saying he's a mark for Ric Flair and he's the thousands in attendance and the millions watching at home. I love that he said that. And he said that Ric Flair is gonna show the world why there will never be another one. And that's pretty much how the pre-show ends. So the main card kicks off with the Wolves, Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. Scott D'Amore was on commentary, and this was one of the matches I was really looking forward to. I have never seen the Wolves team up together, so I was really excited, and I'm a huge fan of this Motor City Machine Guns. So, according to commentary, they said that the last time these teams wrestled was 12 years ago, which the Motor City Machine Guns won. Now, Scott D'Amore makes it a point to say that Alex Shelley is the only man in this match of the four who hasn't won a singles title, and he is scheduled to face Josh Alexander at Emergence, which is Friday, August 12th, a match I'm looking forward to. So one of my first spots in this match was when Eddie Edwards put Chris Sabin in the single leg crab, and Davey Richards had Alex Shelley locked in the ankle lock, which I thought was really cool. But in the end, they hit the skull and crossbones to Eddie Edwards, and Chris Sabin pins Eddie Edwards. Now, so the Motor City Machine Guns are victorious. Now, if you look closely, Alex Shelley kind of like limps up. I don't think he's really injured. I think it's kayfabe, so he's doing a really good job at selling that. So this might factor into his match against Josh Alexander. So I'm really curious to see how this is going to play out on Impact Wrestling, especially because is it going to be like, oh, Alex Shelley's not at 100%, and so he couldn't really go with Josh Alexander. I'm so excited to see how this plays out. I cannot wait for Impact on Thursday. Then we get Killer Kross versus Davey Boy Smith. Short match. It was an okay match. Killer Kross victorious. And according to commentary, he is undefeated. So then after this, we get more video packages. It's Nick Nemeth, or as we know him, Dolph Ziggler, Booker T, HBK, Jake Roberts, comedian Will Sasso, Doug Dillinger, and Lex Luthor all talking about Ric Flair. We get a four corners match. Is Jonathan Gresham versus Alien Angels versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Nick Wayne. Now, the one thing I was excited for about this match was seeing Nick Wayne. I've heard so many good things about him, and I've heard that he's super impressive. So it was really my first chance to get a glimpse of Nick Wayne. And to be honest, at 17 years old, he's super impressive. I was really impressed by him, and I can see why Tony Khan offered him a contract. And I cannot wait to see what the kind of things that Nick Wayne brings to AEW when he turns 18. The future is really bright for him, and I'm so looking forward to see what he accomplishes down the road. But Jonathan Gresham is victorious in this after he hits Alien Angels with a suplex. But before I move forward, the one spot I did like in this match was when Alien Angels moonsaults to Gresham and then Nick Wayne moonsaults to Takeshita. I thought that was a really cool spot. Then we get the Rock and Roll Express, Kerry Morton and Ricky Morton versus the Four Horsemen, Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson. So when Brock Anderson enters this match, he goes up against a Kerry, but he signals that he wants Ricky to enter the match. And I have to say, Ricky Morton, he could still go for a man his age. He was still able to go. Of course, there's a reason why it was a tag match and not a singles match. But Brian Pillman Jr. and Brock Anderson are victorious after the cork buster to Ricky by Brock Anderson. Then we had my favorite match of the night. It was Laredo Kid versus Rey Fenix versus Bandido versus Black Taurus. And let me tell you, this match was, in my opinion, match of the night. Hands down, my favorite match on the card. I am so familiar with Laredo Kid, Rey Fenix, and Black Taurus because, I watch Impact and AEW. I'm not too familiar with Bandido, but I have to say, when they showcase Latino talent and they just let them be themselves and let them go, it is so amazing. And as a fellow Latina, especially one of Mexican descent, it always warms my heart when I see such incredible Latino talent being displayed properly. And, I so blown away by this match. Absolutely. Like, this match of the night, if you ask me. I might be the biggest Impact fan, but I thought this was better than Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wolves, even Josh versus Jacob Fatu, and even the women's match. This was hands down my favorite match of the night. And Bandido impressing by lifting up Laredo Kid with one arm. And then there was this move that Bandido did. He was like twisting and turning around Black Taurus, hitting, and then he hit him with the Hurricanrana. Another spot that I liked was Black Taurus from the top rope did the Avalanche Gorilla Press Slam to Laredo Kid. And in the end, Fenix won with the Fear Factor to Black Taurus. I could care less of who would have won. This match was so impressive. I would have been happy with either person winning. So, but I'm really happy with Fenix won. I really like Fenix. I've actually met Fenix, and he's such a nice guy. So, super, super happy with the outcome and fantastic match. Then we get into the Impact World Championship matches. Josh Alexander versus Jacob Fatu. Was I worried about Jacob Fatu going up against Josh Alexander? No, because Josh Alexander has taken down monsters before. The undefeated Joe Dorian, Jonah, just to name a few. So I was not too worried. I mean, I've never seen Jacob Fatu wrestle, but like I was really looking forward to him seeing wrestle. So like Jacob Fatu threw Josh Alexander around like a ragdoll at the very beginning of this match. Again, I wasn't too worried because I knew Josh Alexander would find a way to overcome him like he always does. Like Josh Alexander is freaking amazing. So like when Josh superplexed Jacob Fatu from the top rope, the ring bounced, which I thought was pretty cool. Now this match was going good. I was happy about this, and I immediately knew Josh was going to win. But the major players and smart Mark Sterling had to get involved in this. They attacked Jacob Fatu and Josh Alexander. Fatu super kicked Brian Myers. Josh hit smart Mark with the C4 spike, and then DDP hit the diamond cutter to Mid Cardona. And if you guys are watching, wondering why I called Matt Cardona Mid Cardona, let me tell you why. So back when Moose was Impact World Champion, Matt Cardona challenged Moose for a title shot, and Moose told him he would never be anything more than a glorified mid-carder. Hence, he started calling him Mid Cardona, which is why I'm referring to him as Mid Cardona. But overall, like, I was impressed by Jacob Fatu. It's the first time seeing him wrestle, but like I said, I really enjoyed this match. Such a shame the major players had to get involved. But now, I think this tells me that Matt Cardona's back. So I'm very curious now how this is going to factor into Impact. At the last time that Matt Cardona was on TV, he gave the Digital Media Championship to Brian Myers. So now very curious if he's back or if this was just a one-time thing. So then we had the Jerry Lawler segment. The gist of this was that he wanted Double J to humiliate Ric Flair and do the frog roll start. And then we had the Von Erichs, Marshall Von Erich, and Ross Von Erich versus the Briscoes, Mark and Jay Briscoe. So this is a good match. Marshall using the claw to Mark, but Jay broke up the pin. The Briscoes won this, so I'm not surprised that they won. I feel like the Briscoes have been on the roll as of late, so it seems pretty obvious that they were going to win this. Then we had the Impact Knockouts champion, Jorydnne Grace versus Deonna Purrazzo versus Rachel Ellering for the Knockouts title. So let me start off by saying I was looking forward to this match, and I love Deonna Purrazzo, but I knew she wasn't going to win this match. This was all Jorydnne Grace. Like, I didn't really expect Deonna to win, especially because it's not under an Impact banner. And also, too, Rachel Ellering being put in this match, I knew she was only put into this match so that she could either take the pin or tap out, and that's exactly what happened. So, like, the one thing I did like about Rachel Ellering was that she came out to Pat Bernard's "Hit Me With Your Best Shot, Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Why don't you hit me with your best shot? Hit me with your best shot and fire away." Now that song is stuck in my head. I have to listen to that song. So commentary makes note of the fact that Jorydnne Grace has never beaten Rachel Ellering or Deonna Purrazzo in singles competition. At one point, it looked like Rachel Ellering had messed up her ankle, and like Deonna and Jorydnne were just kind of looking at her. But, you know, she worked through it, and Rachel Ellering and Jorydnne Grace shook hands. Now, when Jorydnne Grace escaped the Queen's Gambit, I was like, because I've never seen anybody escape the Queen's Gambit. Usually when Deonna hits that, it's over. But it makes sense that Jorydnne Grace escaped because, again, this match was not... I knew Deonna was not going to win this. So after she escapes, Deonna goes like flying out the ring, and Jorydnne Grace makes Rachel Ellering tap out. So she wins by submission. Again, like I said at the beginning, that was the whole purpose of Rachel Ellering being in this match, is so she could take the pin or be submitted. So not surprised. And in the main event, it was Andrade and his father-in-law Ric Flair versus Jay Lethal and Double J Jeff Jarrett. So Jeff Jarrett coming out to his TNA theme and a guitar with Karen Jarrett. And then, of course, the lights go off, and Ric Flair comes on his iconic white robe, and he wears a big gold belt. And chaos ensues before the match even starts. Now, if you guys were expecting a 5-star match, I hate to disappoint you. This was not a 5-star match. The whole purpose of this match was to give Ric Flair a final send-off, which this was. It served its purpose, basically. So Double J and Ric Flair have a stare down during this match. So I kind of wondered if Ric Flair was drunk. He looked like he was drunk, or I don't know. He looked like he was kind of out of it. So I'm not really sure if he was drunk. It wouldn't surprise me if he was. But the crowd was chanting, you still got it. And I think one part that I liked was when Jay Lethal blew a kiss to Ric Flair. But like I said, this Ric Flair wasn't going to do anything crazy. He was just going to do the standard chops and figure 4, and that's exactly what he did. He did the first figure 4 to Jay Lethal, but Double J broke it up. He did the chops to Double J and Lethal. Now, Ric Flair got busted open after Double J used Karen Jarrett's shoe to hit him in the head. Megan Flair, Ric Flair's oldest daughter, who is also Conrad Thompson's wife, was in attendance. She was kind of yelling at Karen Jarrett because Karen Jarrett was like getting in her face. But of course, Ric Flair being the 30th player of the game, he gave Lethal a thumb to the eye. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Like, I was so concerned and worried about Ric Flair throughout this entire match. Like, I thought he was going to have a heart attack and die. Have you guys seen the movie The Wrestler? You know, at the end when Rocky the Ramamson does like that jump and the screen goes black and we don't know if he lived or if he died in the ring? I legit thought that was going to happen to Ric Flair. I mean, like, I was just scared, and I was scared for him. And then Double J at some point put Ric Flair into the figure 4. Now, I like this next sequence. So Jay Lethal accidentally super kicks Double J, who was holding Andrade, but then Andrade moved, and then Lethal super kicked the referee. Ric Flair was actually pinning Jay Lethal in the crowd. You see the crowd counting, but there's no ref. And then Double J enters the ring with the guitar, and he's holding up Ric Flair. Jay Lethal's holding up Ric Flair, but Andrade pulls him out of the way and he hits Jay Lethal with the guitar. I knew someone was going to get hit with the guitar. And then Conrad Thompson, Ric Flair's other son-in-law, threw brass knuckles at Andrade. Andrade gave them to Ric Flair, and he hit Double J with the brass knuckles, and he put Double J in the figure 4. And so Andrade and Ric Flair win this match, and then there's confetti flying everywhere. Ric Flair's all busted open. He's crying. Undertaker and him have a moment. Mick Foley and him have a moment. Bret Hart and him also have a moment. Tony Schiavone telling him, we love you, man. They had great moments. He's one of the greatest pro wrestlers ever, and it was an honor to stand next to him. And Ric Flair says that one of his best matches of his career is against Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and he thanks the fans for coming out. And as he's going up the ramp, he hugs Jay Lethal, and that is how this pay-per-view ends. So I have to say, like, after this, I never want to see Ric Flair enter the ring ever again. I was so worried about him, super concerned. He could have seriously had a heart attack and died in the middle of the ring. Now, this, like I said at the beginning, you were not going to get a 5-star match out of this. There's a reason why this match was a tag match and not a singles comp match. But if you compare this to his WrestleMania 24 match against Shawn Michaels, like, you had the same feel and the emotion. Like, at that ending sequence when Shawn Michaels, you know, he's getting ready to super kick Ric Flair and he mouths, I'm sorry, I love you. And then, like, he super kicks him and he, like, pins him, and then Ric Flair gets up and everybody's so emotional. That's how I felt with watching this. Like, you can easily compare that to this because his family was there, the fans were clapping and cheering just like they were here. The only difference between this and that one is between this match and WrestleMania 24 was that Ric Flair wasn't busted open. So I really, really did enjoy that. And then his other final match, the Legends match that he had against Joker, Sting, in TNA, this doesn't compare to that because, like, that match had a stipulation, which was if Ric Flair won, Sting must retire and never wrestle again, and if Sting won, Flair would serve him Hulk Hogan on the silver platter. And based on the storyline at that time, it only made sense that Ric Flair was going to lose that match. So, but yeah, so WrestleMania 24 and this obviously were very emotional. Overall, I thought it was a good pay-per-view. I liked it top to bottom. Like I said, I was looking forward to this. The undercard was stacked. Fair matches. Motor City Machine Guns versus the Wolf. The 2 Impact matches, of course, in the Bandido versus Rey Fenix versus Black Taurus versus Laredo Kid. Super stacked card. I give this an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10. It had its flaws. I felt like some of the matches were kind of short and they should have been longer. Like the first, like the Ren Narita versus Uemura. I think that's how you say it, from the pre-show. I feel like that match could have been a little longer, but I understand why it was shorted because of the Bunkhouse match. But overall, good pay-per-view, and I hope Ric Flair never steps in the scored circle again for his sake. No, he retired. He needs to stay that way. But thank you guys all so much for watching, and for the continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. And I'll see you guys tomorrow after Monday Night Raw. Have a great night. Bye.